Scorpio.
Hello Scorpio, this is your May forecast for 2013, and this month is going to be all about relationships for you. Focus on your partner, your spouse, or business partners it could be as well. Now you have both the Sun and Mercury and Venus, Mars, and the new moon there. And we're starting off on the top of the month here, May 1st, with Mercury entering in, passing over that 7th house cusp. And that is going to bring attention to all those matters of the heart. Your 7th house is ruled by Taurus, which Venus is the ruler. So, and Venus is there. Venus is powerful here. And so whatever this communication is going to be all about, it's starting here on the 1st. And it wants to speak, it wants to relate, it wants to communicate those things that you've been working on here just over this past month. And I'd also say from March, there must have been things there in March that came to consciousness, that was expressed and that was opened, and then it kind of like internalized just a little bit there here in April. Mercury was also retrograde in March, so, and started to pick up speed in April, slowly but surely, and now catching up with its fellow planets there. So I see whatever it is that you want to bring out. The Sun, your Sun, being in the 7th house, is very strong right now because on the 1st it's going to be trine Pluto. Pluto is the point of transformation. So there's some feeling or sensation of change, internal change, lining up with your power. You are the Sun and Pluto is transformation. So those two kind of coming together gives you a lot of confidence right now to share with your business partner or your spouse or your significant other, whatever it is you've been thinking along the lines here in April. So only you will know what that means for you. Venus and Mars is there also. So once again, we have passionate energies, we have loving energies, we have Mars wanting to push through on certain issues right now, and take action on how to improve, perhaps relating. The 7th house is also relating to people at large, how you relate to the world. You might come across a little fiery because Mars can be that. So watch out for it. Let it support you instead. Okay, let it be your engine rather than let it be, this outburst of energy. Especially also because we're going to see here on the 5th and 6th that Mars and Pluto, they will be trine, so it's a positive aspect. But if Mars is dynamite, Pluto is nuclear, okay? Those two things together, we got to treat them with respect. And when we do, though, it's a powerhouse that can accomplish things, that can really move mountains and get you to where you need to go. Especially here because that Mars is getting very close up there to Venus as well. So healing, I have to say, Pluto is one of the greatest healers we have. Healers of past wounds. Okay, so if there has been, and we're not just talking over the last few weeks, I mean, we can go way into the past and see what hurt spiritually, what hurt deep down, and how did that hurt your spouse as well. You're in this together. It's the 7th house. Whatever could have been complications or problems that perhaps may have been difficult to speak about because they might have been touchy. Now you can relate. Now you can speak. Now you can share. And also have your partner listen to your point of view and take it in without reacting and seeing your point. So there can be a mutual sense of healing. Now Mercury's right in there in this very, very same trine to Pluto. That means that Mercury and Mars, they're conjunct. They're like this, right next to each other. And Mercury is communication. Mars is putting it forth, okay? That's your direction of where this energy is going to go. And then being trine to Pluto, which is 3rd house, bringing things up. The third house is communication as well, so you get like a double Mercury inspire there, and but it's digging deep. It's actually daring to, having the confidence to talk about things that you have been holding. See, Pluto will suppress, hold down for the longest time. And then either it will erupt under a negative transit, which we all know that it can do. But when it's like this, it's like venting the steam out of the volcano. It's not the volcano spewing, it's venting it out. It's got that safety valve on there. So it's not coming across as being projected. When Pluto projects, it attacks, and whoever you attack will rise up in defense. So that will not be the case at this point. You will be able to say the very same things that you would have said under a negative aspect, where you would have projected. You're saying the very same things, but you're saying it in a loving way. Then there's no need for defense. When you speak your highest truth, it comes across in a loving way, because you will also include the other person. So you're not just talking out of yourself, but you're including, this is what the seventh house is the partner. You're including the reactions to the partner and how this truth may be received. And when you do that, you're coming across with heart. Venus is there. And it's ruled by Taurus. And Taurus, Venus is the ruler of Taurus. So you get a double whammy Venus going on here. So make the most out of it. When you can anticipate how whatever your truth is going to affect your partner, you will share it with empathy, with feeling, seeing their side of it as well. You're not being blind and just seeing your side. And so this is what's going to allow you to really, really, really go into a deep, deep healing. And pay attention here to the 7th, because whatever you're expressing here on the 5th and 6th, that's going to start off these talks. And I think they're so deep that it will take a little time to sleep on it, to let it download, to let it filter down into your chakras. And then this Mercury conjunct Mars is trining Chiron. Chiron is the healing planet. Pluto heals, and Pluto's the greatest healer. It's the magician. It can just laser away in a split second some of the deepest scars. But Chiron is the wounded healer. So it's sextile there, and it just goes to show that issues of the past that weren't properly mended, they will definitely be coming up here. And it's so nice to see that you're not alone in this. Sometimes you Scorpios can be a little alone in these wounds, because if they come across in the wrong way, instead of bringing empathy into yourself, you might be pushing away due to that Plutonian energy. But right now you can get all the geher that you need for your own spiritual healing too. You are such a sensitive, beautiful person, and you're so afraid at times to show that vulnerability that it can come across as bringing a truth through sarcasm, for example. A lot of that Plutonian sarcasm is your way of presenting a truth. But sarcasm, you can laugh of it, but it stings somewhere, it hurts somewhere. And right now you'll be able to experience how to do this, how to speak your highest truth about your deepest wounds without sticking or stinging, as the Scorpion can do. And once you do this, there's this awakening here in your planets that brings things to the forefront, like this immediate, should I say, epiphany, this, oh my God, that worked, that really worked. And it was beautiful. It was beautiful speaking this truth without fear of somebody retaliating towards it. But it was because you were able to deliver it with love, whatever that wound was, and so it's not just something that's happening here these specific days. I'm seeing these specific days as you encoding your own synapses in your brain. It's like rewiring your onboard biocomputer, so to speak, This reprogramming is going to allow you, if you are aware, if you are conscious, and if you're listening to this, it's going to allow you to do this for years and years to come. You know, where you mellow out that stinger. Now, you got Saturn in your sign right now, right? And Saturn limits a little bit. So that might be helping here. And that's in your first house. And all of these planets are in the seventh house. So it's all between the first house, you, and all these planets in the seventh house of partner. And then the limitation of Saturn, which might be curtailing the stinger part, which is allowing you to come out and try to be authentic, which Scorpio wants to be. That's your first house. Always wants to be authentic, but where you can try it out, you know, on your surroundings without the stinger, because the stinger is cut off right now when it's retrograde. It's going to come back to play here in July. So use this time wisely, and right now May is going to be a fantastic month to test it all out while you have all this in your partnership house. So good luck with that. And I want to hear how that goes. Because you Scorpions, you come across as you're always together, and you have this beautiful sense of being in control. But we know that behind that, there's such a vulnerability and such a fear of never being good enough or measuring up. And so this is why, you know, this protection field of your stinger, this tail, is there to support you, to spare you and defend you when you feel helpless. But you know what? You're going to have this tiny, tiny little window open up to see how it is to be like the rest of us, the other 11 signs that don't have a stinger to defend us, and to see that it works. You can do that too. You can liberate and free yourself from this self-destructive pattern, because you may sting somebody, but ultimately it falls back on you, and then you end up hurting even more. And I think a lot of this liberation is also coming from where Uranus is transiting right now through Aries. So it's kind of opening up that aspect of you to drop what doesn't work, you know, to burst through new revelations of how you can act. You know, Mars is the ruler of Aries, and that is now going through this partnership house. So seeing that you can actually break into new patterns, it's fantastic, but you have to be aware of it, or this is just going to come and go and fly right over your head, and you never knew it was even there. So good luck with that. And then on the 9th, we have the new moon also in the same area, the partnership house. And I'm so happy that it's so close up to what we just spoke about, because it's still so fresh, these new revelations in your own consciousness, that you can take that new experience of how to speak your highest truth with no stingers, no sarcasm, and put that as a new intention with this new moon on the 9th. That you can make a vow to yourself that I will always speak my highest truth without having to be sarcastic or undercut some kind of truth. I'm just going to say it in a loving way, in a way that I would want to hear it if I was on the other end of it. This is what's going to put in intentions for the rest of the year. And hopefully, you know, within a year, that pattern has started to grow roots so that you can have it with you for the rest of your life. We all go through our evolutionary states, and this is one of these evolutionary cycles that can really behoove you and set you free from your own tail. This basically means, you know, letting go of fear, okay? And it's fearful for you without your stinger, and right now your stinger is not functioning before July. So you want to try to, if you can convince yourself that you can live without it over these few months, you're not going to get another chance of this for 30 next years when Saturn comes back around to Scorpio. So this is your chance, and you will only have the chance when it is retrograde, when your stinger isn't active. And that's the only chance right now until July. You've got 2 more months of this for 30 years. So this is for those of you that will catch it, you know, and test it out. Good luck with that. I want to hear comments of how it's been received when you go out and do this to your partners, the people you cherish, that are around you. And then we have a great surprise on the 18th. Venus and Uranus are sextile, and that's going to be between your 8th house and your 6th house. So it could be something just out of the blue in your day-to-day routine that might come as a pleasant surprise that will take you out of your routine to go do something fun, perhaps. And it's also the 8th house, so it might have something with intimacy to do that might inspire you. And it could also be something, news of investments, perhaps. And then we have the 28th, Venus and Jupiter. Venus, the ruler of love, money, luxury things, those things that we appreciate, is going to be conjunct Jupiter. Now, Jupiter is, you know, our grand, shall I say, blessing in the universe. It's the grand mother of abundance that will just be bestowed upon you. And so when Jupiter kind of ties up there with Venus, you can expect financial good news that day. You might get a raise. There might be a present. There might be a love gift somewhere for you. This will be in the 8th house. You might have great news once again as far as gains, you know, investments and such. Or it could just be a very romantic and passionate day for you as well. Then we have this full moon, and it's a full moon eclipse on the 24th. This is going to fall in your 2nd house. Now, full moons are always harvest. This is when we get back what we've planted on earlier new moons, the seeds that we seed. And this is why we do our intentions on these new moons. So for you, it will be 2nd house of income. You might see that there might be a raise or more money coming to you from some other source. But it is also an eclipse. So I would say that something might also be loss of income. If that should be the case here with you, it's for a reason. Don't fear it. You'll see something else coming into being. The universe never puts you in a bad place without knowing that it's going to pick you up right down there, down the road. So some of you will see that. Most of you will see that it's going to increase your income here on the 24th. And then we just have 2 more messages here at the end, and that is Mercury. Planet of communication, it's going to leave the 7th house of partnership. It's going to ingress into your 8th house. This is where it's going to be for the month of June. We'll talk more about what that means next month. And then we also have Mars, your drive, your energy. That's also going to be changing signs also into the 8th house. So that should be really exciting, where you're going to be point specific here in June. So be sure to subscribe so you get your forecast in your inbox for next month. And I will see you then.